The Maharajas Express is a royal adventure. An experience fit for a king. Wow. On one of the world's most crowded rail systems. We're on an exclusive tour of India's most exotic sites.
No problem.
To reach them, we travel on well-worn tracks.
This crane is used to lift coaches.
It's an epic, high-style expedition.
Welcome to the Mayur Mahal restaurant.
Unlike any other rail journey on Earth. The mightiness of the Maharajas Express comes from the luxury built into every facet of this train. India, home to more than 12,000 passenger trains. And the most luxurious of them all is the Maharajas Express. Wow. Built in 2008, every detail is designed to treat passengers like Indian royalty. The Maharajas were local kings who ruled for hundreds of years in unparalleled wealth and splendor. Today, the Maharajas Express is heading to New Delhi, where my journey begins. In a country that moves over 23 million passengers by train each day, the Maharajas Express provides a journey through India unlike any other. We're heading out on an 8-day adventure. From New Delhi, we travel to the city of Agra, then go 189 kilometers to Ranthambore National Park, through the Thar Desert to the cities of Bikaner and Jodhpur, beyond the Aravalli Range to the city of Udaipur, before finally ending our journey in Mumbai. New Delhi's main railway station hustles and bustles 24/7, with more than 500,000 passengers a day. To avoid that congestion, the Maharajas Express loads and unloads passengers at a less busy train station, a few kilometers south. All around the station, staff are hard at work, preparing to give us a royal send-off later today. I'm here at New Delhi's Safdarjung station, and we're waiting for our train to arrive, but it's been delayed because of fog. It's actually quite a common problem weather-wise around here, and this is going to be a real challenge to get everything done on time because there's a lot to do before we can leave. 15 maintenance workers will have to work hard and fast. They usually get 10 hours to inspect and do repairs, but today's delay has cut that time in half.
100 pence.
The kitchen team is also under immense pressure to load hundreds of kilos of food, enough to keep us well fed for a full week. Just before noon, the Maharajas Express pulls into the station 5 hours late with returning passengers. Now its crew must scramble to be ready in time for our 8 o'clock departure tonight.
Thank you ever so much.
One guy who's really feeling the heat is executive chef John Stone, who arrives with the train.
Take some space out here.
How's the day going so far? I know there was a bit of a delay.
It's not going good. It's not going good. We're already late by 5 hours.
Right.
And now all the stuff has come, so the first thing is we first get the train loaded,
Right.
then we move on.
5 body police, sir.
Chef Stone has ordered enough food for 54 passengers and 56 crew.
Now everything has to be done at a very, very quick pace.
My fellow travelers come from 4 different continents. To cater to all our needs, the chef has bought imported frozen meat and fish that won't last long in the hot sun.
Smoked salmon, frozen. This comes all the way from Norway.
An army of staff springs into action, restocking every guest room with luxury supplies and high-end linen. I'm keen to check out the cabins, so I'm allowed a few minutes on board for a sneak peek. Wow. All of the rooms are really ornate, but this is the most luxurious of all. This is the presidential suite. That's the master bedroom right in there. You can see there's a full bathroom with a tub and a shower on that side, and then you've got this amazing living room area, and through there is a guest bedroom, so this is really amazing. The cost of this luxury? Prices range from $5,000 to almost $24,000 US, making it one of the most expensive train journeys in the world. As the inside gets prepped for our voyage, the train moves 20 kilometers to the maintenance yard for its inspection. Onkar Singh is in charge of the maintenance yard. And because of the delay, he has to find a way to speed up his inspection.
So what my people had done was they had given some extra men because they anticipated it is late. So there's immense pressure that the train is released on time. As you can see, we are using high pressure water to clean it quicker.
There's a lot of train to clean. The locomotive pulls an electrical generator car, a staff carriage, 8 cars for passenger cabins, a lounge bar, 2 restaurants, a kitchen, and a bar car. Next come 6 more passenger cars, another staff carriage, and 1 more generator car. Altogether, the Maharajas Express is an astounding 1 kilometer long. The maintenance crew must inspect and clean more than 200 windows. During the last trip, flying stones cracked 5 panes of glass. All must be swapped out for new ones. Each window is double paned, so the damage to the outside does not cause shattering inside.
You want me to hold? No, it's okay.
This train stretches the length of 3 aircraft carriers, so hauling it requires major muscle. The 3,100 horsepower diesel locomotive that pulls the Maharajas Express is 17.1 meters long, 4.2 meters high, and 2.9 meters wide. This 113-ton locomotive weighs as much as 68 sedans. Its nickname is the Prabal, which means powerful.
167 pe jayega.
As the maintenance team races to make up for lost time, I get a rare opportunity to visit traffic control at India's busiest rail hub. The man in charge is Sandeep Kumar.
We have a 1275 routes.
1,275 routes. That's huge. It's impressive to see Sandeep's team in action as they coordinate hundreds of trains coming and going from New Delhi Station. Around here, it's not computers making decisions. It's highly experienced, highly attentive people. Indian Railways began in the 1850s with a handful of passengers. Today, it serves 1.3 billion people and is the 2nd largest railway system in the world. How many trains are we looking at here? I mean, this board, how many trains does it represent?
About 600 trains in 24 hours.
600 trains every day.
Every day. भाई कुछ मत करो है ना, अभी मूवमेंट करवाओ, अभी ग्रुपिंग टाइम है.
Back in the maintenance yard, Onkar has doubled his staff to 30 in an effort to beat the clock.
We have augmented the people here. One gang started from that side and one gang from this side. So they are trying to cover in lesser time without compromising on any activity.
The train relies on a state-of-the-art suspension system.
What they see is basically the springs, your suspension, they have a visual check of it, and they check the wheels also, the profile of the wheel. It's worn or some flat places there.
The suspension system relies on 2 layers, springs to smooth out the vibrations, and above those, a pneumatic hydraulic cushion to keep carriages level. Inspectors ensure that there are no fluid leaks in the hydraulic system.
Where this is one of the costliest trains in the world. So obviously the expectation of the clientele is very high.
Onkar's decision to double the staff pays off. The Maharajas Express passes inspection right on time. The engine is hooked up and the train is ready to roll. The Maharajas Express arrives at the station on schedule for our 8 p.m. departure. Here we are at the station, and check it out, it looks incredible. Hello. The preparation for the journey is complete, and guests are starting to arrive, and they're about to get their first taste of the royal treatment. We're welcomed with garlands of marigolds and a bindi, a dab of vermilion paint on our foreheads, a sign that we're about to embark on an auspicious journey.
Any question?
No, sir.
Any query?
No, sir.
Hemant Kumar is the general manager. Every one of the 56 crew report to him. You know, the incoming train was a little late coming in. For you and your staff, what sort of challenges does that present?
To coordinate with all the railway people, and you have to maintain the timings and all of the train operation. You have to coordinate these things. This is the basic challenge.
The last of the guests are on board. We've got the green light to head out, and the Maharajas Express is ready to roll. I'm really excited for this journey. I've never been on a train like this before. Our first stop is the famous Taj Mahal, if we can get through the traffic to reach it. We're on our second day aboard the Maharajas Express luxury tour of India.
Very impressive, very impressive.
Overnight, we traveled 145 kilometers from New Delhi toward Agra and India's most famous landmark, the Taj Mahal. Before we arrive, I'm exploring the train to see why it's considered the most luxurious in India. It's amazing, isn't it?
It's beautiful, yeah.
Wow. Nearly 2/3 of the carriages are devoted to passenger cabins. Every one of them an oasis of space and comfort with 5-star personal service.
Hello. This small souvenir for you.
Thank you so much.
100 years ago, the Maharajas, India's richest citizens, liked to travel in special, luxurious carriages. And now the Maharajas Express is designed to recreate that royal opulence. Hello. Hello. Each carriage bears the Indian name of a precious jewel. For emerald, Panna. Other coaches are named for rubies and sapphires. In the middle of the train, there are 2 lounges and 2 restaurants, the pride and joy of executive chef John Stone.
Namaskar. Welcome to the Mayur Mahal restaurant, which literally means the Peacock restaurant.
The restaurants show another side of the Maharajas, their love of imported luxuries.
As you can see, the hand-blown glass chips come all the way from Spain. The stained glass is from Paris. The theme is such that everything resembles the beautiful bird peacock. Everything is blue in color. The chairs are all handmade. The wood used is mahogany, and it has cushioning fitted in it. And no machine was ever used to make these chairs.
For breakfast, the restaurants have everything you could want, including a really smooth ride so nothing spills. That's due to the special suspension system. And because this train keeps its speed down to 70 kilometers an hour, bumps and jolts are minimal. After a leisurely 9-hour journey, we reach Agra Kent Station. Most passenger trains travel faster, getting here in 2.5 hours. Hello, thank you. Well, it's our first full day of the journey at 6:45 a.m. and we're about to go on an excursion to the Taj Mahal, one of the most famous man-made structures on Earth. I've never been, so I'm really excited, and the train staff have been meticulously planning every element of this trip. The Taj Mahal is just 5 kilometers away. Our bus is ready and waiting. But to get there, we have to negotiate the infamous traffic of Agra City. The streets are filled with every kind of vehicle, and jaywalkers unique to India. Right now I'm on the bus with my fellow passengers, and it's a bit of a logistical challenge getting all of the passengers there because we're on this big bus now, but you can't get close to the Taj in a giant vehicle like this. Pollution threatens to discolor the Taj Mahal's magnificent facade, so gas burners like our bus have to park 500 meters away. As a result, the train staff have arranged for electric carts to take us the rest of the way. While we're out, train manager Hemant Kumar conducts the daily inspection.
At every station where the train stops, we check all the wiring, because whenever the train moves, sometimes it breaks up.
The next stop for the inspection, the generator car. Each generator car can create enough power for 40 houses.
So in case this generator car gets some wrong problem, then we can use another generator car.
Electricity flows from the generator car, which sends power into each carriage. Here it supplies the lights, plugs, appliances, and the air conditioning system. The 2 generator cars on the train must power the entire kilometer of carriages on the Maharajas Express.
Inside is working properly now? Okay. Everything is okay? Okay, great.
These generators are the life support system of the entire train, including the kitchen carriage, which has been specially designed for the Maharajas Express. It serves over 100 staff and passengers every day.
The kitchen is so well designed, it has made our jobs far easier. Everything on top is hot, down below is cold. So optimum usage of space.
The kitchen's custom layout provides space for 678 ingredients, which need to be easy to access at all times.
These are the power plates. The temperature goes up to 550 degrees. These are the induction hubs. The temperature goes up to 350 degrees.
As the cooks prepare our next meal, we arrive at the Taj Mahal in our electric vehicles. There it is. I wanted to stand in this spot my entire life, and it's tough to put into words, being here, seeing it in person, just how awe-inspiring and impressive the Taj Mahal is. You can see why it attracts millions and millions of visitors from all over the world every year to see it. It's incredible. Back at the station, our train needs to reverse direction before heading west to our next destination. The carriages stay in place while the locomotive switches ends. Sanjit Tyagi is the public relations officer for the Agra train station.
So you are seeing all the lines of the station here, and right now the Maharajas Express is standing at platform number 4. And in short while the engine will be moving from this end and it will get reversed, so that when the train departs, it will be pulled towards Jaipur.
Moving engines in India is harder than it looks. Hundreds of trains come through this station each day, and they aren't the only ones on the tracks. To steer trains through this maze of hazards, the station relies on this master control room.
So all the red lines are indicating that track is occupied, and all the yellow lines where our track is free.
Down on the tracks, the engineers separate the locomotive from the front end of the train. This requires detaching electrical wires and the main brake line. The engine is ready to move. The control room gives the okay. The engineer now has to drive in reverse for a full kilometer along a parallel line. He then switches tracks. Finally, the locomotive is reattached to the other end of the Maharajas Express. It's a big maneuver to turn the train around toward its next destination. By the time we return from the Taj Mahal, our train is clean, inspected, and ready to head west. Well, it's been a full and really amazing first day, both on and off the train. And now we'll be headed overnight to our next destination, a world-famous wildlife sanctuary. We'll be stepping into the past, into what used to be the hunting grounds of a local Maharaja.
There's the bear.
It's day 3 on our luxury trip across India on the Maharajas Express. We've traveled 189 kilometers from Agra towards the forests of Ranthambore. Our destination? A famous wildlife sanctuary. My fellow passengers and I are living the life. Pure luxury, zero stress. Hey, how are you?
2 pancakes, please. Table 47.
But in the kitchen, executive chef John Stone is having a challenging morning.
This was supposed to be a deep refrigerator, and the temperature was supposed to be at minus. Unfortunately, when I came today in the morning, the temperature was nowhere close to 0 degrees.
The meat has been removed from the finicky fridge. Some can be cooked today, but the rest needs to stay cold or it will spoil.
We had to turn this refrigerator into a deep, and we had to change all the stuff from this refrigerator to this one. And then we had to get this fixed and turn it into a refrigerator.
With passengers paying up to $24,000 for this trip, the kitchen must fix these issues so they don't affect the guests on board. The meat problem solved?
Very close to the. Let me see.
The passengers go looking for India's wildest meat eaters.
This is Ranthambore National Park. It's one of the biggest national parks in all of India, and it's really famous all over the world for spectacular landscapes and for the huge diversity of wildlife that call this place home.
This wasn't always a nature reserve. In the 19th century, it was a royal hunting ground owned by local Maharajas. Our tour guide, Kanhaya Sharma, knows the story well.
I know one reason why the Maharajas Express wants to bring people to this park in particular is because it has quite a history with the Maharajas, doesn't it?
Yeah, before making the national park, this forest it was a private hunting reserve for the Maharajas. So Maharajas, they used to come here in the forest, or they used to send their guests.
We won't be doing any hunting today, but if we're lucky, we might spot one of nature's great predators.
We are going to the lake area, and near the lake we may see some crocodiles.
Crocodiles?
Yeah, we have crocodiles. We have freshwater crocodiles there, and we may see.
That would be great.
Yep.
This was a royal hunting ground at the same time the British government introduced the first steam trains to India. That was in 1853. Today, a combination of new and old tracks make up India's vast rail network. On the tracks up ahead of the Maharajas Express, a team of Indian Railways specialists are testing the rails for flaws. Their chief is Raman Kumar Pandey.
Ultrasonic flaw detector. This is used to ensure the economic life of our railway track.
The system uses ultrasonic waves to penetrate the steel tracks and find cracks. 7 probes send out ultrasonic signals through the rail. They penetrate from top to bottom at 70-degree angles. 2 probes sense defects along the top of the rail. When defects are discovered, the sound waves bounce back with distortions.
If any flaw is inherent in the rail, then it may be detected and it will be found in the screen here.
In 2016, there were 60 train derailments across India. Some were caused by defects in older stretches of track. So this team's ultrasonic detective work can save lives. It requires finding cracks too small to see with the naked eye. They've just spotted something that doesn't look quite right.
It indicates that there may be a flaw.
The team stops to investigate the rail.
This is a bolt hole, and the surface is discontinuous because the sound wave cannot penetrate below here.
Sound waves bounce back, reporting what looks like a defect. Turns out it's a bolt hole that's supposed to be there.
It prevents accidents also because we detect timely in advance where the fly is developed, and remedial measure is taken, and accordingly the part is cut off and removed from the track.
Meanwhile, on our safari, we've come across one of the park's fiercest predators.
There's all sorts of birds and monkeys and some deer just here across the water, but the big draw is a giant crocodile resting on the shore. Look at that.
150 years ago, only Maharajas could get this close to wildlife here, making us feel like royalty.
I've never seen a crocodile in nature like that before. It's remarkable.
When we return to the train, workers are refilling each carriage's water tanks, and it's happening just in time.
The safari was great, but it was pretty dusty out there, so I'm gonna grab a shower. The problem is a lot of the other passengers have the exact same idea right now, so that's gonna put a big strain on the train's water supply. You can't come in with me.
At every stop, water is poured into storage tanks at the bottom of the carriages, 120,000 liters in all. The water is pumped from the tanks through 4 filters. From there, it's fed to the showers, taps, and toilets in each carriage. Once the water is used, it's collected in tanks at the bottom for disposal at the next station. Thanks to this system, there's lots of water for my shower, and everyone else's too.
Nobody cares.
Now that we're all cleaned up, in the lounge, we're talking about tomorrow's destination. A temple.
These are my family.
Devoted to the worship of rats. It's day 4 on our luxury trip across India on the Maharajas Express. Last night, we made our way 476 kilometers towards the city of Bikaner in the middle of the Thar Desert.
Yeah, after you. Hello.
The staff know that when passengers pay an average of $8,000 a ticket, they expect comfort and adventure.
Today we are in Bikaner station and we'll go for the off-road excursion. First, some of the guests will go for temple. It's a rat temple. We call it Karni Mata temple. It's a very big challenge because you have to coordinate with each and everyone.
How's your trip going so far?
Great. I think it's quite an experience. It's the first time in India, and it's been a great experience so far.
Especially today, the red temple.
We're going to a rat temple.
We are going to the red temple.
Yeah, that's going to be an experience.
We're not the only people heading to the temple today. Hundreds of pilgrims arrive by train and car from all over India to worship here. The Karni Mata temple was built in the late 19th century. Today it's home to 20,000 rats. It's believed they are the reincarnated souls of a local family of storytellers. They were reborn through the power of a woman called the Karni Mata.
So this is Karni Mata Temple, also known as the Rat Temple, and it's a place dedicated to the Hindu sage warrior Karni Mata. She lived in the 15th century and she was renowned for her kindness, generosity, and goodwill.
It's an unusual tourist attraction, but for Gajendra Singh, these rats are part of his life and legacy.
These are my family. I am family, belong to Goddess family person. I death, next one become the rats.
And so this milk, you drink this and it's good for health?
Yes, good for health. I can just and this is very holy milk. We are come here in this milk. Drink, no problem. You know what it is?
To enter the temple, we have to take off our shoes. It's considered good luck if a rat walks over your toes. If a rat's killed, the fine is a rat made of pure gold. They tell me that nobody's ever had to pay up.
So here we are. What do you think of this experience so far?
You know, you get used to it after a while, but I mean, it's just so unique. It's something that really, I don't think there's any place in the world that something like this is. It's a one-time deal here, you know.
The first and the last.
First and the last.
Right.
And do people come from all over the world to see this place?
All of the world. The world famous temple, all of the world.
Back at the train, a small army of technicians descend on the Maharajas Express to check on brakes, suspension, and the axles.
The person holds a temperature gun on the axle boxes and he measures. There's a range in which the temperature should lie. If any reading is beyond that, that's an alarm signal.
The train's electric generator cars are refilled with 3,000 liters of diesel fuel. This will keep us powered up for the next 3 days. All of this work is done by employees of Indian Railways. By the time we get back from the temple, the inspection has revealed a problem.
It's the middle of the afternoon and it's really hot outside, and my train car is a lot hotter than the rest of the train, so I actually just got a call in my room. They asked me to find somewhere more comfortable to hang out until they can figure out the problem. So, come to the lounge.
Actually, there is some problem in AC.
To make repairs possible, air conditioning units are located on the roof of each car.
Because we are in Rajasthan state, and these time in November, December, still it is hot. Temperature outside is around 35 degrees centigrade. So AC is very important for us.
If the problem can't be fixed, this carriage and my room will feel like an oven in the desert heat.
There's a leakage or any issue, so they will fix up the problem.
The Thar Desert is the largest in India. The railways here were built by local Maharajas in the 19th century to connect their kingdoms to the rest of India. Steam trains continued on tracks here until the 1990s. Today, much of our journey is on newer track that still gets an old-school inspection under the sharp eye of bosses like Deepika Gill. She's an assistant divisional engineer.
We are conducting visual inspection of track where we are inspecting fittings, joints, plus alignment of the track, whether it is perfect or not, inspection of gang work, also the quality of work which is being done on track.
Today they're looking for interruptions and misalignments in the track that could cause a derailment. But sometimes, even the best inspections can't stop a disaster. In 2016, 150 people died in this passenger train derailment in the Uttar Pradesh region. Investigators suspect terrorists were responsible. 14 coaches jumped the tracks. To recover them, a special machine was called in.
This machine is called as ART, or Accident Relief Train. So it is used whenever there is an accident or some breakdown happens. This is having 140-ton crane attached to it, and this crane is used to lift coaches and other things at the accident site.
Each passenger carriage weighs 46 tons. By having a heavy-duty crane on the rails, the accident relief train can reach derailment sites far from any road.
And it is having the highest priority. When it is moving, then other trains are stopped and it has to move at the highest priority to the accident site.
The ART is the undertaker of trains. No one wants it to ever pay a visit to the Maharajas Express. That's why it's so important that railway workers take time to analyze all tracks for any signs of danger. Back at the train, Mr. Kumar checks with his staff about the AC problem. Maintenance workers found a leak in one of the compressors, but they've fixed it, so we're ready to go.
Everything is okay then? Yes. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Our next adventure takes us deep into the remote dunes of the Thar Desert.
look at this. Right in the desert.
We're headed for a special dinner in the sand dunes.
Our chariot awaits. I am not going to drive, which is a good thing for us.
While we're making our way by camel, a luxury dinner is being prepared in the middle of the desert. It's all been timed so that we arrive just as the sun sets. Bajrang Pal Singh is the off-board coordinator.
It's really beautiful, but it sounds like it's a big logistical thing getting everybody here on camel-drawn wagons.
When we start from the train, we have to see at what time the sun sets. If anything is missed in between, the whole experience is ruined. So we have to be very, very precise on our timings. As you can see, we are here on time and everything was done for you.
This dinner is an exotic treat fit for a king.
Oh, I love it!
But the most spectacular event is yet to come. We're deep into our luxury tour of India aboard the Maharajas Express. Overnight, we've traveled 277 kilometers, from Bikaner to the city of Jodhpur at the southern edge of the Thar Desert. We'll then make our way to the city of Udaipur. The staff has been working flat out to make us feel like royalty.
This train is pride for us. It's a pride of India. It's a pride for us, and we people on this train, we love this train.
In the morning, we approach Jodhpur station.
We're just outside the platform, and this is the list for our people. Those are going for the optional tour.
Tour guide and historian Prince Chibber is in charge of our excursion.
हम अपने लोग जितने 12 लोग जा रहे हैं तो बिश्नोई 6 जन कौन जाएंगे?
Normally, only passengers in the most expensive cabins get to tour in private taxis. But today, many passengers have paid for cars to reach Bishnoi, a remote traditional Indian village.
तो अभी थोड़ी जा रहे हो किसी के साथ? दोपहर में आप हो ना?
As passengers head out for the day, it's time to check that every detail of the train's security system is working at 100%.
सब ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Working?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
The crew uses security cameras to keep track of everyone who leaves and gets on board. There are cameras in every public space. If a stranger gets on board, they will be noticed. The crew also has a system for counting passengers when they leave the train.
We open only one gate. We have 23 coaches. Out of 23 coaches, we just open one door. All other coaches' doors will remain shut.
Driver Maharaja.
Passengers can only leave the train through this door. 15 taxis await the passengers.
आप इनके संग शाम तक. He's a gentleman who's going to be with you for the whole day.
The key is to make sure no one gets left behind by mistake.
I would also be joining with you in some car, so please go along with him. ले जाइए, please.
Our taxis take us into the chaotic traffic of Jodhpur, known as the Blue City. There are hundreds of vehicles everywhere you look. India's railways are almost as busy. With 12,000 passenger trains and 9,000 freight trains, it's one of the world's busiest railway systems. All that traffic causes the gravel beneath the rails to shift, making the tracks uneven in places. The result? A very bumpy ride. The solution is this tamping machine. R.N. Chaudhary has been operating it for the past 11 years.
ये टैंपिंग टूल है, टैंपिंग आर्म, टैंपिंग टूल, और ये है कि पैकिंग ऑफ बैलास्ट के लिए.
The front of the machine detects whether the tracks are uneven. If there's a problem, equipment in the center of the machine is designed to fix it.
लिफ्टिंग नेट, लिफ्टिंग रोलर, ये है जो कि ट्रैक को लिफ्ट करती है। ये प्लेन ट्रैक में ट्रैक को लिफ्ट करती है। और ये हो गया लिफ्टिंग हुक, ये टर्नआउट में ट्रैक को लिफ्ट करती है।
Hooks lift the track by a few centimeters. Next, the tamping arms dig into the ballast. The arms vibrate, loosening the gravel. They then squeeze together to push the ballast under the tracks, making them more level. As the tail end of the machine rides over the rails, onboard sensors check if the rail bed is now properly evened out. After a day of taxis and traffic, it's a relief to return to the calm of the Maharajas Express.
All the passengers on board. The train is now ready to departure.
We leave the desert for one of our last destinations, 432 kilometers south, to the city of Udaipur. It's our second to last stop.
We've arrived in Udaipur and our journey is almost complete. Right now, everyone who works on this train is getting ready to throw a massive party for the passengers. And with so much to do, they're going to have to work around the clock to get it done.
The dinner will be a royal feast. And for that, Chef John Stone needs to make a special shopping trip to get the right ingredients.
Is this your favorite part of the week?
Yes. This is the only time the chef leaves the train. And fortunately, in this chaos, he knows exactly where to go.
I mean, there's hardly any room to walk.
This place is incredible. Tell me about where we are right now.
Now, this is the wholesale market.
And is this where you come all the time?
Yes, yes. Whenever the train reaches Udaipur, I pick up my stuff from this very place. There are two most important reasons. Number one, I get organic stuff. Number two, I get fresh, good stuff.
Now the chef needs to find hundreds of kilograms of fresh ingredients for a dinner that must leave a great last impression of India's most luxurious train. It's our final day on the Maharajas Express. We've traveled 300 kilometers from Udaipur, and tomorrow we're ending our journey in Mumbai.
Two veg soup. All right.
Before we leave, the crew has a special celebration planned for our last night on the train. Every detail has to be perfect.
So today we have an Indian night party. They will clear all these tables and chairs in the safari bar and will arrange a dance floor for the party.
With Bollywood music?
Yeah.
And dancing?
Dancing, yes.
I can dance?
You can dance.
In the kitchen, Chef Stone's 8 cooks are working non-stop to get a multi-course lobster tail dinner ready for tonight.
How many lobsters there are? I don't want to run short.
I know this trip has been awesome for me, but I want to hear from the other passengers.
What's made it a great trip for you?
Attention to detail.
Yeah?
Everything is catered to. It's perfect.
Stress-free, hassle-free. You don't have to unpack and repack. Go to airports.
All week long, we've been treated as royalty. And tonight, we get to dress like them for dinner.
Don't think I could do this myself.
The passengers have to dress in traditional Indian festive clothes. That means saris for the women and kirt pajamas for the men. In the kitchen, the first course is ready. And this dinner starts with a procession. It's a multi-course extravaganza featuring the ingredients Chef Stone bought at the market yesterday. And after dinner, the real party begins.
You look great! Look at you!
It's a joyful way to end this royal tour of Northern India's greatest attractions.
Terry, Cindy, how's the trip been for you? This is the last party, the last evening. What have you thought?
Fabulous. We would recommend it to everyone.
As the sun rises the next morning, we approach the outskirts of Mumbai, where our journey is ending.
Oh, Mr. Kumar, how are you?
How are you?
Good. Come on in. I was just finishing packing.
So, this small souvenir for you.
Oh, it's a souvenir.
These
Thank
are the
you
Maharajas
so much.
cards.
Wow.
This for you.
Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you so much.
After a trip of more than 2,700 kilometers on one of the world's most luxurious trains, we reach the end of the line.
It's been a pleasure serving you.
I'll never eat that well again. Thank you. Well, our journey started in one of India's great cities, and now it ends in another. The staff on board really go out of their way to make this the trip of a lifetime for passengers, and the way they organize the excursions and unique elements of the trip is pretty remarkable. What a fascinating ride through an incredible country.